Welcome to a guide to new mods on Farming Simulator 19 with me, MrSealyp. These are mods for Friday the 30th of August. I apologise for the delay. I had to take care of some things over the weekend, so I couldn't get around to it. However, a lot of my subscribers and regular viewers still wait for me to do the mod reviews and have been asking me over the weekend when I'm going to do it. So this is it. Mods galore, as the thumbnail says, and there are a lot to get through. This is going to be slightly longer than usual because we do have a lot to get through. So let's crack on. Right in front of me here I've got this little beauty. This, if I can find it on my list, this is the Vicon PS 1004/1654. This is a fertilizer spreader. This is by No.naim, LSMC, and it will use 3 slots. It's a little small one. It's actually really very cool. Something I really do like about this as well. And I know it's a small one. It's for small vehicles, and you're not going to get a lot in it, but it's so light you can pick it up and you can move it around. It says that in the Modhub. So moving it around the yard and stuff, obviously when that's full that might be a little bit trickier to do, but very, very cool bit of kit. It does come with jockey wheels, so you can kind of roll it around on the floor as well, but you don't have to have those on if you don't want to. Detail on it is very, very good. It looks like a plastic tub. I mean, at the end of the day, the decals look great. Really nice. So this one I've got is the PS 1654. That's because of the size. Let's have a quick look. This will be under Fertilizer Technology. Scroll right to the end, and there it is, the PS 1004, 3,450 to buy for the standard version. It's got an 18 meter spread, and it does fertilizer and lime, which is absolutely brilliant. Options available, like I say, we can have it as 1,000 litre, the 1004, which looks like this, or we can have the one at 654, which is 1,650 litres. Design, we can have standard or with support wheels. Like I said, you don't have to have the support wheels if you don't want them. And realistically, it's just for the looks. It's really, doesn't do anything more than that. But there you go. Very cool bit of kit. I like the fact it does lime and fertiliser. Very nice indeed. Moving swiftly on. The old faithful, the Euroboss 330T. This one's 17. It was probably on 15 before that, if I recall correctly. It may even been on 13. This is by Mat26. It will use up 12 slots. It is a loading wagon. Incredibly well detailed. Looks nice. I don't tend to use them very often anymore. Once the milling machine came out, I kind of use that, but I should get back to using them. Let's grab this. So, turning it on. That drops down the front attachment there for collection. And turn off. Unloading. Nice smooth animation. Very cool indeed. So, this is under loading wagons, which I think is up the top. There we go. It is right at the end, obviously, because it's a mod. 31,000, not too expensive. It's got 21,300 litre capacity, requires 60 horsepower to pull. So, actually, not too bad. That puts it the cheapest one. Obviously, it's smaller capacity. Yeah, is it small capacity? 21.3, yeah. So, smallest one in game we've got at the moment. But very nice indeed. I like that. It's by Mat26. Next up, we have got Bale trailers. These are Bale trailers by Swedish Bonna Team. There are 2 to choose from. We've got a double axle. Well, it's double axle, and then we've got a triple axle. It's hard to tell through the long grass. I should have taken it onto the flat stuff. But anyway, we'll be able to see when we look into the actual store itself. Swivel axle fronts, not my favoritist, not my most favourite thing in the world. Straps available. These aren't auto load wagons, they're just standard Bale loading wagons. They do have trailer hitches, which means you can hook them together. And the hydraulic lines hook up as well, or brake lines. But yeah, there's a attachment on the back there, so you can kind of attach quite a few together if you want to. So these are in the store under baling technology. There we go. So we've got the Lizard Bale trailer for 10,500. Options available. We can change the main colour. We've got a choice of 5 different colours. If you feel like doing a bit of manual stacking, go for it. Then we've got the long bale trailer, which has got the double axe on the back. 16,750. Yeah, I mean, they're nice looking trailers. They do what they should do. Again, we've got a choice of 5 different colour options. And with this one, we've got an extension board on the back. If you're going to do round bales, to stop them kind of rolling off, we can take that off if we don't want the extension board on. Especially if you want to be loading on from the back for any particular reason. So there we go, bale trailers from Swedish Bonna Team. They do have this kind of real glistening look to them. They look kind of metallic-y on the top as well. Very cool. Right. Moving on, let's get over to these, shall we? We have got here, this is the new style farmhouse. This is by DMI 20mm Normandy. There's a lot of detail on this mod. We've got a nice little parking bit side here with a couple of planters. Got the main farmhouse with its entrance here. If I click on L3 here, it gives you the option to, when you are tired of course, to sleep through the night. The gate doesn't open, I don't think, here. We've got a nice little garden. Swing set and shed. Wood store. Plastic table and chairs. I say the detail on the building is very, very good. Satellite dish on the roof as well. And our bins around the side. I wonder if that one opens. No. But again, yeah, detail on the fencing. Looks like wood. You can see all the sort of screw heads. It's really nice. One minor downside to this, it's quite expensive. But then some of the farmhouses are. It depends if you want to go for deck chairs, whether you're going to go for caravans, or whether you want to go for a proper house. But this you will find under Placeables, under farmhouses, and it is 200,000. This has a slot count of 22, so it's fairly high on the slot count. It does put a little bit more pricey than the standard in-game farmhouse, although that still says 91 slots on the flat map, which is crazy. But there you go. So that's by DMI 20mm Normandy. Moving on, we've got a couple of shelters. These are the placeable storage building, which is that one over there, and the storage shed here. These are both by Paolo 5090R or 5090R. Each one of these for the first one is 17 slots. We'll start off with the storage shed. Again, nice detailing. They look like metal I-beams. The guttering on there, the walls look like brickwork. You know, it's nice. Not a bad size. Front's a little bit low. I think this is designed kind of more for smaller machinery, and I suppose if you want to put grain and anything else you want to put in there. The one next to it has got a slightly higher front, although I don't know. It seems to have. You'll get smaller harvesters and stuff like that under here, I would imagine, as well. But yeah, very, very cool indeed. And then next to it, we'll have a look at these both together in the store in a second. We've got the placeable storage building. This is much bigger. Longer version of that, and not open at the sides like the other one is. But the detailing again, very, very nice. Lights, I think, are automatic. And the amount of times I've said that, and then people say, "Oh, you missed the light switch. You're right next to it." I haven't found a light switch. Let's just put it that way. But there are lights under here. Just looking to make sure they're not on the back or something. So, in the store, under placeables again, these are under sheds. We've got the Lizard Placeable Storage Building, which is the bigger one. That's 9,500. That's 17 slots. Fairly high on the slot count, I guess. And then we've got the Placeable Storage Shed, which is 8,000. A little bit cheap because it's a little bit smaller. Also 17 slots for the first one. Next, we have the Aggro Mesh AT. These are cultivators with front and rear link attachments. You'll see why. I mean, it's kind of obvious why. We've had a few of these in the store, in the Modhub, over recent months. Really nicely detailed, really nicely designed. We've got a 3 metre and a 4 metre one, and we've got the back section here, which is the SL2. That's your rear lighting block, lighting rig, which you can use on its own if you wanted to. But the point behind this being that you can run it as a cultivator in its own right if you want to, and if you do run it as a cultivator on its own, you kind of put the lighting block on the back, so when you're driving down the road you can see that that's the back of the vehicle and your lights from the back of that. However, if you decide you want to use that rear 3-point link and you want to hitch a seeder to the back of it, one that's not a direct drill, so you can run the cultivator with the seeder behind it, you hook the two together, which I'll show you in just a second. But like I say, very detailed, a few options available on this in store. This is by VNSFDG2. The 3 metre is 9 slots, the 4 metre is 10 slots, and the SL2, interestingly, is 7 slots for that. I suppose because it does lights and stuff as well, but 7 slots for quite a small bit of kit. Anyway, move on, let's have a quick look in store. These are under cultivators. I think they're under disc harrows actually. There we go. We've got the Aggro Mesh AT30 and the AT40. The AT30 is 14 grand. And the 4 metre AT40 is 24 grand. 10 grand more for an extra metre. Wow. That is quite high, isn't it? Anyway, options available. We have got, round on this side, we've got the tubular roller. We can have a packer roller, or we can have a ring roller, whichever you'd rather have. And then attachers, it's a standard or sewing sections. So if you were going to do a sewer on the back of that, I think you put those on. It kind of helps to connect it all together more effectively, I think you'll find. And then the options are exactly the same on this one. We can have tubular roller, packer roller, or ring roller, and the same standard or sewing section attachments. So, very quickly, $3 one as is, and what I can do is hook up the SL2 on the back of it. What I will do is lower that down, so when you put your lights on, he says, so for like indicators and stuff like that, you can still see the indicators when you're going down the road. That's the point of the SL2 attachment. The SL2 I think is in, actually I think it was in miscellaneous if I recall correctly. It wasn't with the actual cultivators themselves. Did I just go past it? Yeah, there it is, the Aggro Mesh SL2, 3,500 as well. It's not cheap. Let's say 7 slots, but there you go, attached to the machine to be more visible at night. It's just a safety measure, you don't have to have it, it's more aesthetic than anything else. Right, so let's drop that down. And the 4 metre one. Now obviously you're probably going to need a front weight if you're going to be running an operation like this, because when this hooks up, you'll see what I mean, it puts the whole thing right over the top. Like that. I mean, the animation is absolutely fantastic, buttery smooth, really, really cool. And then when you get on site, lower your seeder down, like so. Go to that one, lower your cultivator down, and kind of away you go, which is, you know, very cool indeed, running a 4 metre setup like that. But obviously, if you've got a direct drill, it renders the cultivator section this, I suppose, useless in a way. But anyway, there you go. That's the Aggro Mesh AT30 and AT40 in the SL2 by VNSFDG2. Moving on, we've got this. This is the Lizard Cattleman. This is a livestock trailer. This is by Way Too Drunk to Walk. Tubular construction, triple axle on the back. One thing I have literally just noticed is the grass poking through the floor of the back of that. It's a minor thing, but it's obvious, it's there, it's kind of glaringly right in front of you. I've just bought a new trailer actually on Washoe, and this actually will probably be a little bit better. Anyway, we've got a few options available on this as well. It's quite long, but a very nice bit of kit. This comes under animal transports. There we go. It's only 19,500. It will take 8 cows, it will take 19 pigs, it will take 16 sheep and 10 horses. Options available. We can choose our main colour out of any of those. MrSealyp green, as I often do. And then it does say design colour. Design colour is there's a tarp that goes on it. So if I, for example, went for onyx, if I want to go for onyx, you've got no tarp or tarp. So the actual design colour is to change the tarp colour to whatever you want to change it to match up to whatever colour scheme you're going for. And at the front, just here, let's come out a little bit, we've got the option of a fifth wheel attacher or the 5/16 inch ball, and now that's more a gooseneck attachment. I think the Julie-esque pickup we've got at the moment requires the fifth wheel attachment, not the ball attachment, which is what I've gone for at the moment. This doesn't have a regular trailer attacher. These are the two you can have, like so. There's no tyre choices, that is what it is. So what we'll do, let's hook up. Now I've got the pickup, it will also hook up with the fifth wheel attachment to a lorry, because they have a fifth wheel. So depending on what vehicle you've got to pull it around, it will do both. Like so. Hooks up rather nicely. But I think for a kind of ranch cattle type setup, it goes quite nice on the back of the Julie-esque pickup. Like so. Gives you plenty of room actually for turning as well. It's rather cool. Now, as far as lights go, we have got lights on the back. Indicators are those big ones on the side there, so you're not going to miss those at all. And then if we go in a little bit closer, we've got for opening and closing, the bolt swings open and the doors open fairly slowly on the back like that, but they are animated. And there you go, the lizard Cattleman from Way Too Drunk to Walk. I like that. Okay, next let's go to the John Deere. This is the John Deere 1070D Eco 3. This is a tree harvester. This is by INF or INF. Nicely detailed. I like this. This is a small one, a little bit like the Sampo Rosenliu, that kind of size. This is not a massive tree harvester. But like I say, some nice detail. The lighting on this map is driving me mad at the moment. Nice detail. A few options available. Let's hop in. Start it up. Top speed 9 miles an hour. It's no slouch on the racetrack, this one. It looks really good. I like this actually. Our usual functions for cranes, etc. We've got our up and our down. We've got our insy outsy. Where are we? There we go. All about. I do like the fact this one goes right the way out. Got quite a nice reach on it too. Look. Really good. And then we've got our swing side to side. Now the whole cab doesn't move on this one, the actual arm does. Nicely animated with the hoses down at the front as well, which is quite cool. We've also got our rotation with L1 and R1, rotation of the head, like so. But something else we're getting quite used to now, I suppose, on a lot of these harvesters. If I press L1 and R1 on my left stick, I've got the tilt of the head as well, which means if you want to cut something down on the floor or pick up from down on the floor, you've got that option to do so, which I like that function. I think that's really quite cool actually. So bring that back up again, like so. Now what is rather nice as well, lights front and all round. In cab, nicely detailed, switches and buttons, etc., which I like. Options for view, we've got side of the boom, we've got outside, and we've got in cab. But what's also rather cool, if I go into the menu here and we change cut length, this one we can do half meter lengths as well, for whatever reason. We might want to do half meter one, so we can do 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, and so on, all the way up to 7, and then back to 1 again. So this will only go up to 7 meter maximum rather than 8 meter maximum, but rather nice indeed. I like that. Now, options available. Let's just close the menu off. And how much does it cost, and what's the slot count, etc, etc. Let's turn the engine off. So, in store, this comes under forestry equipment, forestry machines. Now, the Sampo Rosennew, which is a similar sort of size, is 275,000. So we go right to the there it is, 275,000. So pretty much, you know, identical cost-wise. It's a little bit bigger, a little bit longer. And it comes down to brand as well, whether you want that particular one. This will run you 22 slots. If you're bothered about slots, if you play on PC, it's not going to affect you at all. But if you are bothered about your slots, options available, we can have Trelleborgs as standard tyre options. Then if we go to the Olisfors, we've got the Pro Grip tracks. Now there are some subtle differences on these tracks, because as I was scrolling through I couldn't really tell, but you can actually just tell the tracks themselves change ever so slightly. So we've got the Evo Baltic, the FEX, we've got the Magnum, which is more ridged, a little bit higher, the Eco Track, UEX, and then onto the Kovacs. I like the Kovacs. They're much wider. Then back to our Eco Track again. But yeah, a few options available should you be interested. 168 horsepower, not the most powerful machine out there, but if you want to be cutting down trees and you don't want to be spending out too much money on a tree harvester, it's an option. Lights off, very nice indeed. So that's by INF or INF, however you want to say that. Moving on to our next mod. What am I going to go to next? Let's get over here. We have got the case Ih Poo Mercy Vx with tracks. This is by Jens or Jens Ejvinsson. Sorry if I got that wrong, I do apologise. This looks nice, and there's a lot of options on this too. Incredibly well detailed. I love the 4-track set. I think it looks absolutely brilliant like that. Very, very cool indeed. We'll get onto that behind in a second, don't worry, so I've got it here. Yeah, very, very cool bit of kit. So, let's jump in. Sounds nice. Tracks don't get hung up. Well, you wouldn't expect them to, but that really does look cool with 4 tracks. For such a small tractor, absolutely brilliant looking bit of kit. Lights all around, beacons. We do have, you can open the sunroof, you can just about to see that. L1, R1 and left stick side to side will open and close the sunroof, like so. From inside, very nice. I do like that. Animated throttle forward on the stick. As far as the lights go, I don't think, other than all the lights coming on the dash, you don't get individual lights for anything that I can tell. Don't think so. Indicators, no, it doesn't seem to be anything else on there. I think we've got cab suspension or seat suspension within the cab itself, which I really do like that as a feature. I think it's absolutely brilliant. Very, very cool indeed. Right, so what's this going to set us back? I've still left the indicators on. See, old person still indicating whilst driving down the motorway. That's me. Right, options available. This is under medium tractors. The standard Puma in here is there, which is 188,000, and it will set you back 12 slots. This one is a little bit further along. It is also 188,000, and it's only 13 slots. So only one slot more, and quite a few options, which I think, again, that's why the whole slot thing baffles me. Some things can have massive amounts of slots required, and people say, oh, it's because it's detailed, and then you get a really detailed mod that doesn't require a lot of slots, so I don't know. Anyway, options available. We can change the main colour, and that's another thing I love about this. It's not a short or small selection of colours. Anything you want from those to suit whatever particular scheme you're running. But if you're a case fanatic and you just want to go with the case red, then you can just stick with the case red. It's entirely up to you. Now, rim colour, if I change rim colour now, because I've got tracks on, it doesn't do anything. It just stays as tracks. However, if I go down onto wheel brand and go from Lizard to Trelleborg, you can see now the rims have changed colour. So if you keep it on tracks, if you keep it on Lizard, on tracks, that won't have any impact at all. But if you have changed the rim colour, as soon as you go to wheels, you will get the rim colour that will pop up. So on the Trelleborg, we have got the option of standard, wheel weights, narrows, narrow twins, which I like that a lot on the Puma. I think that's brilliant. Wides, and we're back to start again at wide and weights. Oh no, rear twins, twins all round, and then we're back to our standard. Then engine setup, we've got a 185, which is 225 horsepower, 200, which is 245 horsepower. We've got the 240, which is 270 horsepower, and then we've got the 240 CVX tuned, which takes up to 300 horsepower, which is pretty good for a Puma, a tuned one, 300. The case Optum up to maximum spec is only 313 horsepower, so you can get a Puma with almost Optum horsepower, which is pretty cool. Front loader attacher, you can have yes or no. So those are your options available. Nice bit of kit. I mean, I love it. I think it looks absolutely brilliant. Fire extinguisher inside the cab there. Very, very nice indeed. Like that a lot. So that's by Jens Ejvinsson. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. I really do apologise. So, moving on. The next one. Behind us, we have got a large baler. This is the Heston Big Balers. This is by ARM Team. Let's have a look at these. I apologise, I'm a little bit bunged up. My hay fever's playing up today. This is the New Holland BB 9090 or 9090. Now, this is a proper Heston baler. Does much bigger bales. Nicely detailed. And it is a big baler. Look at the size of the bales coming out the back of that. They're massive. But very, very cool to have a Heston baler for console. I like that. So, options available. What do we have? This comes under baling technology, as you might imagine. And if we scroll across, let's have got prices of what balers we've got already. The LSB 1290 is 105 grand for a square baler. Obviously, the round balers are slightly different. If we go all the way across, there we go. So big balers, 90,500. So not too bad on the price, but rather than doing a 4,000 litre bale, these do 6,100 litre bales. So much bigger. We've got some options on the balers themselves as well. You can have a Massey Ferguson version if you want to. You can have the Massey Ferguson with flotation tyres. We can have the New Holland BB 9090 and also with flotation tyres. And you can have the Fendt 1213 ON. Or no, that's 12130N, isn't it? Yeah. What I do like is the Massey Ferguson one actually does say Heston on the side of it. Heston 2190. I like that. So yeah, again, it will come down to what particular brand you like out of the three of those, which you might go for. But what we will do... How many slots does this use? Did I say? 2 slots, is that right? That's what it said on the thing. Okay. Maybe not. Right, so let's hook it up. Let's get it turned on. Drop the pickup. Let's go. Pickup's good. Bale size is huge. Looks absolutely brilliant though. 6,100 litre bales. So there we go. That's the big baler kind of pack, I suppose, by ARM Team. Very cool indeed. Right, so let's stop that there. Let's move on. We've got more to look at. Way more. Normally I'd be poring over these way more. We've got so much to get through. So much to get through. Right, bear with me. Next up, we've got these. This is also by ARM Team, and this is the John Deere 8350 Cedar, or as I'm now referring to it, the Super Cedar, because it supersedes everything. But anyway, and also it's a Super Cedar. You will see what I mean in a moment. This is brilliant. Game changer? Possibly. I'm saying it again. You'll see why in a moment. This is a cool bit of kit. Now it looks fairly, I say plain, fairly ordinary. It's a John Deere bit of kit, which people seem to be clamouring for. I've got 3 hooked together here, kind of in series, which is quite nice. Helps for transportation if you want to take multiple ones. Now this is a 6 metre Cedar, and it's not too expensive. It's only £6,000. You'll see why I think it's a Super Cedar in a minute. Let's find it under Cedars. I'm excited about this one. So let's put it into context. Let's find a 6 metre Cedar, shall we? There you go, 6 metre. The Vaderstat Rapid, £76,000 for a 6 metre Cedar, and it will do seed. That one will. It also offers the possibility to direct drill, which is fine. Absolutely wonderful. Let's keep going. So we get to the end. The 8350, 6 metre Cedar, only £6,000. Now the tank size isn't that big, but it will do fertiliser and seed in this. It's got 2 sections that open. It also says this machine offers the possibility to seed directly, no previous cultivating or ploughing necessary. So let's have a look at options available. We can have standard, or we can have duo rib, which is the tyres. Duo ribs look really weird. I haven't really come across anything like that before. Standard or duo rib. Wow. Those are your 2 options. But £6,000 for a 6 metre Cedar. That in itself is brilliant. Price wise, awesome. But here's where it gets super. Super. One being that you can hook them up like this to transport, which I think is absolutely brilliant. I need me a tractor. 1 second. So let's just hook up. So like I say, like this, I can take them out to the field, trailing behind each other very, very nicely indeed. But here's the trick up the sleeve. If I disconnect the correct one, let's disconnect that one, and let's have a look at this. Now what we have got is an option here. If I press L1 and then my right stick to the left, it opens out that sidebar. If I do right one and my right stick, it opens out that bar out to the side, which means I can, with a little bit of fiddling around, I can hook them up. He says I can hook them up like so, and what's great about it is when you hook it up like so with the bar out as far as it will go, it pretty much lines them up. You haven't got much overlap. So realistically, I've only done 2 at the moment, but I've taken it from a 6 metre to a 12 metre Cedar because the overlap is minimal. I mean, an inch maybe. If I put this one on this side here on this bar, that gives me an 18 metre Cedar. 6, 6 and 6. 18 metre Cedar for £18,000. They're only £6,000 a piece. 18 metre Cedar. That's fantastic, isn't it? I mean, that makes it a Super Cedar. Cheap, wide. Obviously, I don't really want to be running it like that. I would put the other one on the other side. But let me show you what I mean and why this is potentially a game changer. Because what I've done here is I've hooked 5 of them together. Let's jump up on the fence. 5 of them hooked up. out to their extent. Now if my maths is correct, 5 times 6 is 30 metres. That gives me a 30 metre seeder for 30 grand. That's nuts. Behind me there is currently on console the biggest seeder we've got in game at the moment. This is wider. It's wider, it's bigger, it's better. It's awesome. So let's have a look under our seeders and let's scroll across. Let's look at prices. So the Vader stat, and I apologise if I said that wrong, the Seed Hawk XL toolbar, 84 feet, 25.6 metres, 290,000. Plus that needs a seed cart to go with it because it doesn't hold seed itself. Okay? Which is another 185 grand. Or there's a smaller one if you go for the THX 1400 Hatson Bickler for 98 grand. If we scroll across, let's just remind ourselves, 6,000. 5 of those, 30 metres for 30 grand. 290 grand versus 30 grand. Now obviously you're not going to be able to carry as much seed, but you're going to cover a lot of ground. Now what I thought I would do, and that's what I wanted to, let's just jump in this actually, let's zoom out. Just so we can see. Look. It's a little bit wider. That's madness. But brilliant. So, I thought, okay, I've set this all up and you know what's going to happen now. It won't work. So I can take these all 5 out to the field like I did with the other one behind each other in a little trail of 5 seeders. So let's try and line this up on the field a little bit, shall we? I thought something's going to go wrong. A worker won't like it. Now what I have done, I've set it on buy seed. Now I can fill these all up. At the moment they're all empty. They're all set on wheat. Now let's hire a worker. And watch what happens. This thing is brilliant. 30 metres. I'm sorry, but that's brilliant. I mean, I suppose potentially with enough horsepower I could stick another 2 on the outsides. Why not? Give myself a 42 metre seeder. I mean, potentially with enough horsepower you could do a field in one pass, couldn't you? That's crazy. But brilliant. This by ARM team. So then I thought, okay, fine. But then the worker's going to go to pieces at the end, surely. Well, let's see, shall we? Plus it direct drills. You don't need to cultivate. Okay, so let's see what happens. Now there are going to be some fields, there are going to be some maps where I'm sure that it will have a bit of a hiccup. However, that to me looks pretty spot on. That is phenomenal. So now what you're going to have is people saying, okay, let's see how many, just how many can we actually pull? Can we do an entire field? I mean, for the price as well, you can't get your head around it. You could buy 10 of these at 60 grand. 10 of them. That's a 60 metre seeder. Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. So there we go, the Super Seeder. The John Deere 8350 by ARM team. There are only 4, well, it's 4 slots for the first one. After that, 1 slot each. I just blow me away. Kind of saving the best till last, I guess. I have got one last mod to do. I feel a bit bad now. I should have done this mod before because now it feels like I'm going to do it a disservice. Oh, hang on. No. There we go. That's the one I want to disconnect. Yeah, connecting them all up is a little bit fiddly, but once you've done it, absolute bonus. Right, so last but by no means least, we've got the Vogel and Newt Tera Disc 600. This is by Gamer8250. It is a cultivator, 6 meters. Nice smooth animation, great detail. Very cool. Let's fold it back up again. I do like the animation on this. Turn these off. So this is under disc harrows. There we go, right at the very end. We've got the Tera Disc 600, 32,000 for a 6 meter cultivator. Options available. We can have it standard or with wide tyres. This is another one. Again, it's options. It's having something different in game. You might be a big Vogel and Newt fan, and may particularly want one. When you look at some of the other options available, size-wise and price-wise, you may go for something different. But I like it. I think it looks nice, nicely detailed, great animation. It's a nice bit of kit. Like I say, that is by Gamer8250. It will use up 17 slots though for the first one, so it's quite high on the slot count. Not horrendous, but it's quite high on the slot count. Anyway, I think we've covered everything. I think I'm going down my list. Yeah, I think we have. This has got me absolutely blown away. I love it. Don't get me wrong, the mods today are great. They're all really great. Some really nice mods in here. Having, you know, on any other day any of these would stand out on their own as being phenomenal. You know, the Tracked CVX, the Heston Baler, absolutely amazing. But this is, I personally, I mean, it's my own personal opinion, absolutely fantastic. Anyway, I hope you found this useful and informative in some way, shape or form. If you have, give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free. And if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Whatever you should choose to do. Thanks for watching.